We're going to make fun of it. Hey, hello. Thank you for joining us today, the 10th of January, in our new year. Isn't it a new year?
I don't know.
This year, my name is Kristan, apparently, according to our Facebook. And I have to say that was actually my iPhone that wrote that. My Siri loves me and loves that my name. To change my name to Kristan. So if you saw that, laugh with us. We are giggling right now because we just realized it.
I think typos are socially acceptable.
Yeah, it's not because we are incompetent. It is because my Siri is incompetent and doesn't know who I am, and her Siri doesn't know who I am. So we will eventually fix that, but we were just giggling right here.
I just noticed
as we saw that. So Kristan Rabell and Rebecca
Mom.
Johnson. Hey, Mom. I mean, Rebecca's mom, the only Karen that we know and love. Isn't there a new name for Karens now? It's like, don't be a Melissa. I don't know. We're gonna have to find out that new name, because I think I don't know. I kind of want to be a Susan sometimes. I mean, she knew how to fix that bike up yesterday. If you saw my post on Facebook, we could talk about that later. But we have lots of fun things to talk about today. So yeah, how was your transition into the new year?
I would go with chaotic, because in property management, I'm actually filling out an application for one of our rentals right now.
That's KNR Property Management, by the way. Rabell Realty Group does not do property management.
No. Yes, of course, Mother, you're our favorite Karen.
And I love that you're on our podcast. I want to thank you. My mom does not show up. You need to call her and be like, listen, Clara, you need to get on and help these girls, right?
So property management's been a little hectic. We switched new softwares, and for some reason we thought it would be smart to
be awesome.
Yes, once it's up and we understand it like the back of our hand, it'll be amazing. But Sindel and Haley are doing a great job getting all the owners and tenants integrated in and teaching me how to do things as well. So
watch those videos.
So I just figured I would go through the painstaking process of doing the application so I could see what it was like for the tenants, and which is why I failed to share the podcast, but also noticed that we had a typo. So anyways, it's been an interesting
I haven't shared the podcast yet, so I'm going to share it later. I was feverishly answering people today. It's been, it is chaotic. It is a little weird. It's all of a sudden the market's, for us, we just feel like the boom again. Lots of people are coming back on.
January is typically slow, but we have listings coming. We have rentals coming. We have
past buyers. Calling. I've got Grand Oaks, so I've got a lot of people calling and saying, they're coming up on their year, their 9 months, and they want all of their little things done. And when they all hit at the same time, it's really different. So chaos, though, is kind of what drives us, I think. Mm-hmm. We love chaos. We live in it.
I don't know if we love it, but we know how to work in it.
Yes, exactly. I sometimes thrive best when there's a lot of chaos, personally. So, but yeah, we're here. So we almost were not here this morning, but luckily, Elio, if you see later pictures of us, he's got his mask on. He's negative, but this Omicron, it is kind of taking over Gainesville. I'm kind of hoping that it ravages Gainesville, gets through, everybody gets it, and
that's terrible.
Survives. No, I'm talking, but I mean, just get it out of Gainesville.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's going to happen. The reality is, I'm just going to be the truth, sayer, is that it's going to happen. And Omicron has really, it's really infectious. So, you get around someone, you might pick it up. My parents had it on Christmas, and we didn't even know it went over. And then our family got it. And luckily, I was okay. I think I have antibodies from before, because I got it last year also. So I wasn't down and out. I think I was down for like a day, but even Mason, my 10-year-old, was pretty rough. He was down for about 3 days. So we've already encountered it, and all of a sudden everybody around us has it. So I'm glad that Elio is negative. And I know his wife Yarelis is not, and the girls are not, right? So I hope that they recover soon and it doesn't really rock their worlds. I know it's like a lot of sleeping is needed, bad headaches, a little bit of an upper respiratory. So as long as it's not as a horrible experience, get out of your system. I'm not saying be like back in the 80s or 90s when everybody was sent to get chicken pox.
I don't know.
We're not doing that.
I got the shot. I have the chicken pox shot.
So aging myself compared to you, but yes, our parents were all like, let's go out and get get this horrible disease so we can have shingles later. We didn't know that they were shots.
I lived a good life until 1993. Right? I was an only child, and then Hannah came along, and my brother. So I was an only child.
Do you remember that South Park episode where the parents all decided for everybody to get together and get chicken pox? Yes. Yep. Yeah. So that's pretty much my life, my childhood. And so, yes, so I did have chicken pox, but we've gone past that. So I'm not saying go out and get COVID. Definitely,
just
keep yourself safe. No, don't get that either. Keep yourself safe, but it is out there right now, at least in Alachua County where we are. So, that's my craziness for right now is everybody I'm talking to has it. So keep yourself safe in the middle of also doing a lot of real estate. So let's talk about the market though. We got that Monday Market Minute.
All right. So we're going to take a look at North Central Florida and see what's happening so far for the month of January. Let's start in Gainesville, since we usually don't.
Right.
All right. So for the month of January, so far as of January 1st through the 10th, we have 62 listings that have hit the market and are active, 105 closings. So starting the year off.
Pending.
Oh, I'm sorry, pending. I felt like
in these 10 days, I thought that was pretty good for Gainesville.
That's really good for Gainesville. And then 51 closed so far for the month of January. We'll jump over to St. Augustine. You have 32.
So remember, this is NEFAR only.
I know.
Yes.
So
there are a couple of other MLSs.
Total active, not since the month of January. They do their algorithm a little different. Don't worry, we'll get them into Stellar at some point. 9 pending.
I'm all for it.
And 2 closings. It certainly would make life a little easier for us.
And that's only a NEFAR. That doesn't mean that's the only numbers for the St. Augustine Beach area, because there are 2 other MLSs, but we are not members. We're just members of NEFAR and then Stellar for these other 3 areas.
That's right. So going down to Ocala, 162 active so far for the month of January with 220.
100 more than Gainesville.
I know. With 220 pended and 104 closed. And then Hillsborough looking strong, which this is, I think, pretty normal for them because they typically do about 1,000 closings a month. They've got 335 active, 547 pending, and 304 closed. So,
so strong.
Looking strong.
It's looking strong for January. It looks like it's just keeping up with the market before, in 2021. So I guess, let's get on to our next little conversation about this market. And, there's a lot of articles out. There's a lot of conversation out about, is there going to be a housing correction? And
I'm going to say that it's relative. I have a lot of people ask me, when is the market going to crash? And I'm like, well, what do you mean by crash? Right. And they all want to know, is it going to come back down? Like, I'll never forget when you could get like a Rockwood Villa condo in Gainesville for $40,000 again. Do I think it's going to come down to that again?
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon.
Right.
If ever. I don't know if it'll ever come back down to that, truthfully, but if it does, I don't know if I want to be around because that means it's all gone very horribly wrong. But I do think there's going to be stabilization in the market. And things that cause that are going to be things like demand slowing down, which I don't foresee happening, but there will reach a point when buyers just kind of put their foot down or put their feet in the sand and say, I'm not going to pay what you're asking. And we're seeing rates increase. And I did have a good conversation over the weekend with somebody that was looking to buy, and they were like, I want to buy, but the prices are so high, but the rates are still really low. And so I sent them a comparison and showed them it's really the same. It's like the chicken or the egg.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I think, we've had this like hyper growth these past 2 years with this really low inventory. Again, some people say it's not low inventory, but low inventory and then low rates. But really, even if we do this correction, the prices are looking to continue to raise. So there isn't really a house correction. Again, builders coming in and building are going to help, but with the supply issues, the shipping issues, that's still going to continue. So I'm not really sure there's going to be a huge correction this year in 2022. It is going to come up, and we don't have a crystal ball. I don't really think we're going to see Rockwood in the 40s anytime soon. And like you said, I don't really know if I want to be there for that because that's going to,
it's going to be horrible.
but a lot of people are saying, they're going in, and this is what you all need to know right now. When you say, well, should I buy now? Yes, because all we are seeing are the prices rising and the rates rising. So you may as well buy now. Now, what I'm getting a lot are friends going, oh my gosh, my friends own 40, rentals. I want to buy now. And I want to buy a rental now. I mean, I just had another past customer today, text me and talk about, to ask about, is this a good market? Is this a good house? I really think it's better to buy when your ROI is working for you, your return on investment. And right now I don't see that, but that doesn't mean you don't need to buy. You just have to be patient. You can't buy the first thing you see. Correct. Once you're looking at investments, you really have to know the numbers, and talking with us, we can help you really look at those numbers and know them and be patient. It is hard to be patient right now though, because all of a sudden we are back. I think there was a little bit of a lull in November and December for some houses not having competitive offers, right? And there are certain houses that don't have competitive offers. If you're going in and you're knowing that June and July, summer houses were getting 10, 15 offers and, going 50 to 100,000 over, don't think that you can list your house 30,000 over and still have that happen to you. That's not happening. If you're listing it at market value, and especially in a certain price range, yes. I mean, we just had one go under with just 3 offers, but one was 50,000 over list price. So it's still happening, but that listing was at market value. But going back to, you have to be patient. It is scary being patient, or it's harder to be patient when houses are going so fast. And usually when you're looking at ROI and you're looking at affordable housing, that makes that the numbers are really good with rentals. You're not looking in the super high market, but there are people looking 300 and under. And it really depends on that each individual house, I think, and their individual numbers. So it's all about patience. You don't have to buy the first house you're looking at, especially if you're an investor buyer. And there's a part of me, I do have to say, that I'm like, gosh, I know for the investor buyers, we would love the business for management. And right now, there's not enough rentals. So we need those rentals out there, whether you manage with us or not. Alachua County, Tampa, all these areas need rentals because there's always going to be renters. So we love that. But the buyers who can't afford, they're competing with the cash buyer investors. And so there's that little, my heartstrings are a little pulled for those homeowners that need a home and can buy a home, but there's so little out there and the prices are pricing them out. So then they become renters. So again, I can't say go one way or the other. I just see both sides, and that's my take on it.
I mean, there are cost comparisons out there. I actually saw a cute little meme, and it was about, well, I guess it was cute. It made me chuckle as somebody in the industry, but I felt the pain of somebody that was probably looking. And it was basically like the cost of waiting. And it showed, the house, a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, 2 months ago, today's pricing, and it was doing nothing but going up. Going up, yeah. So that's what they're projecting. They're saying that this year, the average, and remember, there are areas of Gainesville that jump 11% in a month at times, but they're saying the average price increase for a home over the next 12 months will be about 11%. So yes, there is a cost to waiting. Plus interest rates are rising a little bit, which does eliminate some buying power for people. They're still at that extremely low rates, but there is kind of a re-education process anytime rates go back up.
Exactly.
Well,
let's talk about that. Home loans data from 2021, and then we can go into a little break. So basically, there was an article in Florida Realtors just recently, the other day, and it was saying that 2021 was actually a record-breaking year. It was up 9% from last year in the amount of loans that were created for purchasing, and yet there was still a large percentage of cash buyers. So, but really what it was because of the prices of the houses and how, again, there were, multiple offers, and now you're having to raise your loan to the tip top that you can afford. And so that's where the numbers came in, but 9%. And the last time this happened was actually 1990. Obviously there was one in the peak of 2005. But 1990 was the last time such a high increase has happened. So
back when those voodoo economics were happening.
Right. So lenders issued 4.74 million loans to borrowers buying a home last year. Isn't that crazy? It was down from 4.92 from 2020, but again, up in the amount of loans. So 9% increase in loans.
I mean, that seems about right. If you watch the show, I think it was, 2 weeks ago, we talked, maybe 3 weeks. I don't know. Time's kind of flying by already. We talked about the number of people that were moving to the state and how prices were jumping in loan application. Right. Well, not loan applications, but the amount of buyers were jumping 20, 30% in a year. So that's not surprising.
Yeah. And then, our home prices, this is Florida, right? And Florida raised about 19 to 20% in the highest months from the year before in that same month. So I don't have the data from the entire year, but it's right around that 19%. Right. So.
Well, we will have the data for the entire year.
Once they release it, yes.
Working on it. It's typically like February, March.
Yes, when exactly. They get it all. So we don't have that yet. We would have loved to present that today, but we're just a little early in.
Patient,
yeah, they really still only have November numbers out, but we would love to look at the last 3 years, 2019, 2020, 2021. You know me with numbers. So, so we'd love to look at the 3 of those once they are released, and we'll bring those on. So let's take a break, and we'll get back with you.
A short 38 miles away from Gainesville to the south is the city of Ocala, Florida, home to a diverse natural beauty. Known as the horse capital of the world, the mix of horse culture with outdoor nature unique to the region makes Ocala a destination not to be missed for those considering a move. Ocala boasts some of the most iconic locations for inland boating in the state. Silver Springs is a state park where recreational opportunities abound. Glass bottom boat tours are available to the public and offer an up-close spectator experience with underwater wildlife. Canoeing, kayaking, bicycling, and camping are just a few of the most popular activities that Silver Springs has to offer, all conducted in the natural habitat that features different species of mammals, reptiles, and birds. It's hard to believe that near the wild nature habitats, springs, and park settings exist a bustling downtown square in the heart of the city. Historic downtown Ocala is a quaint and walkable downtown with an actual square and southern gazebo hosting live music, delicious dining opportunities, and shops that have been around for several generations. Similar to many southern towns, the historic district of Ocala expands to its many live oak-lined residential streets filled with homes representative of the times in which they were built. The flora and fauna of Ocala landscape enhance the residential home sites, coupled with great access to dining and shopping, all within close proximity in the heart of Ocala. Check out buysellrebell.com to find out more about your Ocala home.
All right, we're back. That beautiful flora and fauna of Ocala. What a great video. You do really go with those videos.
Oh, so, man. Yeah. Bless Justin Short for listening to my outtakes.
Hey, speaking of Justin, I do want to send some love out there for his dad, John. He had a freak accident, and it was about a week ago. So hopefully he's doing better, and little by little, but lots of prayers for Nancy, John, and Justin Short from the Rabell family. So, so talking a little bit more about Florida, I mean, I think we are one of those states where we've had the highest demand for Florida homes. It's always kind of been that way. Who doesn't want to be here? Right.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate that it's 80 degrees out, that it's sunshine, that I was at the beach over the weekend, that not only do you have like a beach to go to, but we have a plethora of beaches.
And not just beaches, lakes, rivers, creeks.
Manatees were out. I saw on another realtor's Facebook page. They were out
canoeing. It is the manatee season, right?
I know. I'm like, this place is gorgeous.
The warmer weather.
I look at the pictures of the people up north shoveling snow and stuff, and I'm like...
Well, I mean, I missed the snow. It was a lot of fun going for a week, but that's all I really want to... I've lived in it. It's horrible. It is absolutely horrible.
And it's different to visit when you're at a resort than to live in it and have to shovel it.
Yes.
You know, like scrape your windshield.
Yes.
Put on like
get
50
the big bags of
layers
salt so they can pour it out there. Yeah.
So God bless you all who live up north, but
it's hard to like layer and layer and layer and layer and layer and then be hot. And then unlayer and unlayer and unlayer and unlayer. Yeah, no, I'd rather just wear,
flip-flops. I'm wearing flip-flops right now.
A little dress, maybe a jacket over if it's a little chilly.
Yeah, it's so Florida life is amazing. So how could it not be in demand?
Yes. So, I mean, but all the numbers were showing that people were moving here. Of course, we don't have, what is that, state income tax to pay. So that's a really big plus. And like you mentioned, our weather was one of the biggest ones. And in the top 10 markets of 2021, we had 3 in Florida. And number 1 was our lovely Tampa. Yay! Go Tampa. If you want to show that slide, please. Yes. So Tampa was the hottest market for 2021. And they're saying that for 2022, it's going to be a hot market also. But there's actually 10 hottest markets, and I think 8 of them are Florida. I don't have it in front of me. And it's actually Sarasota and Venice Beach, which are really south of Tampa, are up and coming. One big thing is that a lot of the older generation is moved out, you could say, into another life. And a lot of
I'm sorry.
a lot of younger people are moving into these typically
I didn't go, Howie. I was not
older.
expecting that. That's not what I was thinking of for whatever reason.
I was trying to think of how to put it nicely, but I figured just make a joke. But sadly, but it was an older community, and now is becoming an up and coming younger
like
community.
St. Pete. St. Pete went through this.
St. Pete, right? St. Pete is. It did not show up as one of the top markets, but I can tell you, our Tampa girls and anybody selling in St. Pete, it is super hot right now. A lot of people want to live there.
When I was growing up, that was like where older people went to
Oh no,
live.
now
And
it's young. Yep, now it's the hipster
everybody's
place.
young and hip and fun. I'm like,
It's totally hipster. So that's what's kind of happening to that Sarasota area. So, and also right outside of Sarasota, because Sarasota is so expensive, that's where people are moving to. And I think really the biggest reason for Tampa and then Florida in general is that, we've talked about this before. You don't have to live where you work. A lot of people, our industry, obviously real estate, you kind of do. You can go on vacations, but, a lot of it is staying in the area. But there's a lot of tech, right?
Right.
Things that you don't have to live where, in these more expensive cities. And Tampa is actually a pretty affordable city in comparison to these other areas. Plus, they wanted to get out of the area, the colder areas to come down.
I'm going to give Tampa major props because I can't remember if it was 10 or 15 or maybe even 20 years ago, but they started a beautification process. Actually, I think it was about 15 years ago because they were trying to get the Olympics at one point. And I don't know if they're still trying that, but they really started cleaning up the city and making a conscious effort. And I do think that's what's paying off for them. Not to mention you have ports, you have the airport, which it allows international travel. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say like the forgotten city of Tampa or of Florida, because everybody's always like, oh, Miami this and
right.
Miami that.
Tampa is apparently the new Miami right now.
I could see that because you have a lot of great, local eateries, breweries. The city is very walkable now. Growing up, I would not say that.
Yeah, I mean, they've also done a lot of really great development in the past 5 years in terms of like commercial walkable development.
Oh, yeah.
And then they've cleaned up a lot of, I know that they're still cleaning up Ybor City. It's not what it used to be.
No.
So
my mom used to not let me go to Ybor. I had to sneak out there.
I mean, I remember Ybor was disgusting in the mid 90s, late 90s when I was old enough to really go out and start going out, college days. It was nasty, but now it's like, cleaned up.
They've cleaned it up a lot. And it continues to change, and they've preserved certain areas. So I think they're doing great things in there.
Yeah.
And if you don't follow Tampa on Instagram, then you're missing the Pirates. They've started to invade for the month of January for Gasparilla, which is coming up. So
we'll have to talk about that a lot more, since that's what you love. Gasparilla, trying to get me to go. I don't know if I'll be there.
I know.
But, I'll try. We'll see. Maybe next year.
I want to get on one of the floats. So if anybody can hook me up,
there you
help
go.
me.
Let's get Rebecca on a float in Tampa.
That's right. I'll be a pirate.
All right, great. Well, thank you for joining us today. Let's get into our slides. We'll talk about all the great things that we can end on.
All the great things. We
like in our property management.
We're here to help you manage your property. Look, being a landlord is tough. It is not getting any easier. Everybody's got a story on why the rent is late, and We've heard them all, so we're used to handling it. Actually, I'm going to say Elio got a flavor of that today. Yep, and it's just like a no-fuss, simple process. You hand the property over, we deal with the phone calls, we deal with the collections, we deal with finding good tenants that you're not going to have those issues with, first off. But when there are issues, we're here to deal with them. Even the maintenance calls at 8, 9, 10, actually I'm going to say also at 3 a.m., which I've had several times, the lockouts, all of that, it's all taken care of for one easy price for you. So call us 352-213-6410. We also have some awesome new technology to help make it even easier for you once I learn it.
We're learning it. It's tried and true. So once you know how to type everything in perfectly, you'll get it. There. It's really good. Yeah. So all right, there you go. Remember the days when my dad did property management. All right, so I'm going to go a little different direction with this also. If you want to join our team, not only as a realtor, new or switching over, you're unhappy with your current company, switching over, or you want to join a team and these other companies don't have teams, please email us at join@buysellrebell.com. But also, if you're looking at a job, if you want to be in a real estate industry working, especially in marketing or front desk, or
we're hiring in property management. We're just hiring in
property management. So if you want to work in any of these industries, also email join@buysellrebell. We are looking for lots of talented people to work with us as realtors or not. So we look forward to your resumes and applications. Alrighty.
All right. Did you know you can get social online with us? You'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube.
Like our YouTube page and share it. Right. And did you know we have a blog? I can't believe you don't know this yet, but
I'm shocked.
If you didn't know, you can find it at buysellrebell.com/blog, where we write a lot about the great real estate world of Gainesville, Tampa, St. Augustine, Ocala, and just real estate in general.
And how amazing life in Florida is.
Yes, how you should move to Florida and call us. We can help you out.
And we want to thank the Fiesta Media for putting on this podcast and every other podcast. If you are thinking about a podcast, please give them a call at 352-327-5089. They make it super easy. We just show up and magic happens.
Yes, thank you, Fiesta Media. And thank you, all of you who are on here today. We'll see you next week. We thank you for following us always, watching it after, watching it during. And Karen, thank you for always being there
Karen,
for us.
For being our number one fan. I like our patriotic red and blue, and the chairs are white.
Yep, red, white, and blue. Go America!
Woo! All right,
America.
Oh my God. All right, we gotta go. We'll see you guys next Monday.